I messed up. I forgot about the countdown. We got the countdown. We got one. That's electron. Got the blue, base magnetic. You got the black. That's the solid directional vector barrier. And then you have the red, heat up. That's one. Oh, then we got two. One direction vector, two direction vector. And this one has one spin as well. You have, so 2 dimensions. That's a liquid. And you have three. And you have a full volume of dimension within your hot and cold. But that's for part of a presentation. What do we have here? Look at all of that hydrogen production going on. And so right, it's like, oh, but look, it's not plugged in. Not plugged in at all. Look at that. And still, just because I have the electrode also connected to that electrode, and then we have a double electrode connections to a second, that alone creates enough charge differentials, as well as the difference in charge between the aluminum and the copper and the iron and the carbon within this electrode, that you have a sustained active electrolysis process and rate going on with no electrical input whatsoever. No electrical input. So we're breaking Faraday's law. Oh, look at, we can see some of them bubbles shooting up like the other video. Come on, focus camera. I jinxed it. Maybe not. Oh, almost had it. But they don't pop, they shoot up. Maybe not on this time. Maybe this thing. Nope. Alright, don't have enough time for that. But we've documented all that. You're looking at 0 voltage. So originally I did have the 5 volt, but you can see right here it's not hooked up at all. So my phone is hooked up to the battery charger right there. But all this, so you see the yellow wire, it's just connected to this electrode. So it's electrode to an electrode. Oops. As the electrode moved. You never want them to touch each other, then they short out the reaction. So you want the difference between it. And still going there. There we go. So it's a decent little rate of production with 0 voltage in. So another cheat that I have here is that you got this aluminum forming a double electrode between the two water batteries, and then you have this electrode connected to this one, right, then connected to this one. So it's just a complete closed circuit of the 4, but 0 external other than the 2 wired to each other, and them creating differentials between the different connections of the electrodes, thus a natural balancing and attempt at neutralization between the two, where one automatically establishes itself as a anode, and this one establishing itself as the sacrificial anode, this one establishing itself as the cathode, producing all the hydrogen off of it. And yeah, zero energy in. It's literally self-sustained. Two plastic cups. Anybody can do it with scrap metal and some plastic cups. And that was the whole point of why I have all of this stuff, is that anybody can reproduce this stuff anywhere in the world with scraps of plastic cups, metal pieces you turn into electrodes, and salt water. And just like that. And so now we're seeing some of these yellow plasmid clusters coming off, and that's because I disrupted this electrode, and when it moved, so then it broke some of the nano layers that form with the different oxides and hydroxides and hydrides, and now you'll see these yellow chains coming up and out from the bottom, wherever it's now leaking from. So that's the yellow state. That's why it's in this yellow color, and that is what the alchemists called the sulfuric state. And they said it's when it dies, right? So there was the connection. It was a neutralized system, and then I killed the the differential connection that was established between the charge separations of where these electrodes were, and then thus it killed that system, and now it is leaking out the yellow sulfuric disturbed state. But I do not believe that that is actual sulfur compound in this yellow. It's most likely, again, a form of a combination of oxygen, hydrogen, and the metal that, whatever electrode metal that it is coming off of, and would be a sacrificial anode metal reaction that would be bleeding from. And again, we have, look at just that level of hydrogen coming off. And so we have such a sustained high level reaction is because, well, I'm a genius and I listen to what others are doing, and you can see you have a large surface area of aluminum wrapped around the carbon, wrapped around, well, there's the ferrite core because it's a welding rod, so welding rod of iron and carbon, then the aluminum sheet, and then we have, oh, what's this? A solenoid of copper wire going down, just one electrode. So just that alone is also exponentially increasing your reactions between the differentials of the metal and getting this sustained high level of hydrogen production off of zero. Yes, so the galvanic reaction, it's definitely because you have the sacrificial anode reaction breaking down, thus it has to be a galvanic. And the way the galvanic system works is you'll have one atomic hydrogen splitting coming up, and then also in the middle, and then you have like a H2, so a hydrogen molecule coming off of this, and H4 coming off of that, and then you'll have the oxide compounds breaking down off of that metal. So there's always three coming with the hydrogen, oxygen. So you have you have a solid, a gas, and a gas reaction out of the liquid. Any earth ground reference? Not on this one. But that is a so you're on a key part there of so you can earth ground it to another additional battery or saltwater battery, and then also have a antenna up as connecting in to that sort of ground. And then when you're reversing and adding additional negative and positive inputs into a couple of these jars, with a couple of them as collector jars of just one in as the ground, that's where you get giant buildups on specific electrodes coming off of that if you do them right, specifically triple solenoid coils, and you get hydrogen ion isotope accumulation on large scales. And I'm not going to say any more because that's potentially national security sort of information I just gave away there, and trade secrets or proprietary information. If you really figure out an experiment with what I just said, then you understand the trembling in my voice momentarily of, did I just give away too much? Am I in trouble now? But that's okay. At least it's out there. You can see the consistent yellow, that consistent sulfuric, what the alchemists call sulfur. But it's that you're seeing it consistently in these yellow plasmid nanotube chains being formed. And that I also do it in the pure white, the pure blue, the pure green, the pure black, the pure red. And that's the 7 different colors of the alchemical transmutation cycle of metal elements, as stated by Sir Isaac Newton, and that it's just the different charges and layers of oxides and hydrides of nano layering on the electrodes, on the outer shells of what we're doing here. Bleach can do that, Venus. Bleach. But that's not for this. So again, seeing that high level with 0 input. Oops. There we go. That's just that little thing. And again, just to show, this literally unplugged. There was nothing connected. Still see the same reaction. Nothing at all. And it hasn't been plugged in this entire time. It's been right there. Now, before we go on, this is diatomic blue. This will kill you. This is oxidized metal. Diatomic because it's the single metal atom of what was the monoatomic, and then an oxygen bonded with it and oxidized, and that is where people turn into Smurfs and die in very short amounts of time. And that all of this stuff is nanomaterial, so if you wipe it on your skin, it absorbs right in, and that is how you will get very quick levels and accumulation of heavy metal poisoning. Or when ingesting, for instance, like I did 2 days ago, some of the purple monoatomic cluster plasmid, so the royal purple, it was activated by the sun with the gold and the moon with the silver, turning it from the white monoatomic into the purple royal clusters, and that I ate some 2 days ago, and literally I've been up for freaking 3 days at this point. It's ridiculous. I wish I could sleep. So much to do still, but that's okay. We're handling it. So, ionic water, right? So this is the water that I use for the garden, or myself that I've been drinking. You can see. Ooh, look at that. It's almost got a little bit of a more viscous to it than your average water. That's just been sitting for a day. And this is the same water that freezes into those ice cubes. And it actually has a bit of a sweet taste to it. Delicious. Delicious. And I actually haven't really eaten in 3 days since having some. So what I did, and I messed myself up. It's so strong. Like you can't just rush into it. People literally go insane and lose their mind forever. And I understand why now. And so we'll talk about it on the next podcast with Julia, because I got her to call me. I was like, but it was funny. And talked to Johnny Enoch during it at the same time. It was quite good. He's pretty knowledgeable on this stuff. But so the water was all the way down, so there was just that much water and the purple, and I swished it around and I took a giant chug of it, and that put me on my ass for a couple hours. Like, just sucked the life and energy, and it was wild. But then it got recharged. Now we're good. Now I've just been on fire since, drinking the water and consuming a little bit more. There we go. Well, that's why I have her out in the sun charging up too. Keeps it going. And then we have, that one's more of a pinkish purple. And then we got the dark. Mesmerizing stuff. I've literally spent days upon days of weeks of months of my life staring into these whirlpools of jars of galaxies. And the purple royal dust, the white MonoAtomic, and see, I believe the white neutral powder is the God particle, right? Because they're trying to find it, claim it's a subparticle, but if it's a particle, how can it be sub of itself? It can't be less than itself if it's a particle. Thus, the smallest it could be is a single particle, and that's what we have right here. We have the smallest single quantum dust God particle. That's what it is. It's the building blocks, and it's a low energy, high energy density, but low charged state of matter, and that's how it's in the plasma and quantum nanostates. And it's because it's able to operate and take directly in between the Casimir force or whatever, and the Coulomb barrier, I believe is what it is, right in between the two little things. But it's between a subparticle and a particle, right? The smallest things, and the vacuum energy and how they take it straight in. And they're able to superconduct at room temperatures. But I gotta get going, so we'll show the last parts. The Alchemist There's many, many worlds, galaxies, universes, all trapped in the jars. I wonder if I've got any demons or jinn or genies in my many jar worlds. Okay, so right here we have what I believe and what Bernard, Alberta, Can us, because I'm from Canada, I'm going to the US. But why specifically I said that? Because I realized I'm probably the reincarnate of the 16 or 1500s famous alchemist named Bernard Alberticus, because I am Bernard and I'm from Alberta. Us, right? Yeah, there you go. Alberta Canis. Okay, what do we have? We have silver coins, but these are special silver coins because Bernard here is the one person in the world that is either smart enough or absolutely retarded, taking his pure silver as well as the pure gold and breaking it down into white powder. And no, not through a illegal narcotic transaction. No, I'm doing it through water and salt, and it's possibly God's drugs, right? Like, it's the purest, whitest. And what we have here was alchemical mother's milk, I believe, as well as what I'm calling quicksilver or quick liquid silver, because it is nano silver in water. And here's the key part that I figured out today. It's that with the nano crystal silver, because this liquid silver state, it's not monoatomic fluffy powdered silver. It's actually the smallest nano crystal particle of silver. And so it's like a little diamond-esque type of compound of pure silver, and that it arranges in the water in a manner that turns the water into a liquid crystal state. Now, what is important about this, the key aspect, and how it ties into my biggest discovery of what I call the valence shell phase shift fusion, is that you are then able to have reactions coming out of this galvanic electrolysis hydrogen crystal solid gas, making room temperature reaction from a solid third dimensional vector magnitude of energy, because it is a liquid crystal, and the crystal aspect is what you're having a liquid, but it's a solid density without having to put the energy required of a full magnitude of phase shift, aka boiling water from liquid into a gas, or freezing water from a liquid to a solid. The liquid crystal, you are getting the freezing effect density of reactions without actually having to take the energy of the liquid out, because it's in a crystal state. And I'm going to demonstrate here a little bit of what it does. You can see it's way more viscous, and it's got like almost this jelly-like aspect to it. It's almost like oil in how it's moving and acting, and the self-arrangement when it is this liquid silver and this liquid crystal. And what it also does is it is able to then self-organize. Come on now. And then it's like it doesn't do the reaction the one time I'm on film. No, okay. Son of a bee. Hold on. We got a plan B here. That jar didn't want to cooperate. Maybe this jar will. My apologies. Please bear with us. It was all going so good until I wanted to do a live demo. And it's going to do the second layering. Okay. Sorry. It didn't go into the spiral. It went into Los Momentos. And I should be able to show liquid crystal. What's the word I'm looking for? The entropic aspect of the too milky. Let's see. No. And then it just doesn't want to do it. Okay. Anyways, that's the mother's milk style. And it's that you can see it is literally like a milk. And that is the silver suspended within the water. Now, it's actually a gray like this. So this is the right white. So that is okay. This one, the straight blue, will kill you. So if it's oxidized like this, that's no good. That will kill you. And maybe I can get the reaction to work. This one. We will see if it does it this time. Seriously, it goes 9 out of 10 times. And I've done this, and then the one time I go live, it doesn't want to cooperate for me. Okay. Oh, maybe. Maybe is it starting to make itself... Savage. Oh, no, I can kind of see the spiraling. Kind of see the layers forming, but it's not wanting to cooperate very well. Huh. Oh, there we go. Now Oh, there. Sorry. It's the lighting. My apologies. Now you can kind of start to see. There we go. Now you can see the galaxy forming. And we got what looks like a hurricane or a galaxy forming its arms and spirals. The clouds going to the center. And your actual I repeat I always start the first experiment when I try something with distilled water, and then I repeat the process after with my tap water, and 9.9 out of 10 times it's the exact same reaction. So I use tap water the majority of the time afterwards, just for cost and efficiency. But if your local tap water is polluted, do not use it, because you will be exponentially increasing the power and toxicity of the pollutants in your water. And then you definitely do want distilled or spring water. And all right, so oh, there we go. Now you can really see from the angle. So it's all about getting the light level right to show, and it's as it does. There we go. We got the galaxy forming. And the full. Just leave her for a minute. Now that I finally got a decent angle on it. Yeah, exactly, right? So if you got the best water, always use it. And just the natural spiraling self-organization of specifically liquid silver. Ooh, I'm coming to Utah in 2.5 weeks time. 3 weeks. 3 weeks from now or 2 weeks from now. I will be in Utah for Terry Carter's Moonlight Gathering, and it's going to be epic. And it continues on. And shit, I've been live for 30 minutes. So we were probably going to end this right quick. Before we do, show one last thing to you. We have again so we started with the yellow sulfuric state outside and the nanotubes coming off. But in this reaction, it built its own layer. Originally, that was an exclusion zone. Now it's a barrier that have formed from the upper water and then the lower water that is completely yellow and what they call that sulfuric state now. And then you have the pure white at the bottom. That's like solid powder. That's water moving around with the yellow. You have the electrode there in the pink-red active state. That's tungsten. And then there's the additional two. So you have two electrodes there. Another electrode over there. And the barriers between. And the yellow state, what they call the sulfuric state. And that one is plugged into 5 volts. It's one that I've had running for a couple weeks now. That's what it evolves into. Hold on. Alright, so for the sake of science, again, there we got that spiral forming still. We're going to take the oxidized quick liquid silver. We're going to add it into this guy at the top. See what happens. Look how white it is. The water, the silver, the liquid silver. It's magical stuff. It's really weird. And again, look at that. That can't even reach the yellow because of the barrier that has been built out of the different nano layers. And you can see the pink crystalline tungsten is falling off the anode there. And thank you, One Big Pond. Appreciate that. I am a true alchemist, electrochemist, from right, Bernard Alberticus supposedly lived for 400 years. If you look into the history of him, he's one of the most famous uh, ancient European alchemists. And here I am, Bernard, living in Alberta, and going to the US. Imagine that. All right. One last thing I'm showing. Those two guys closed, and they are other active but sealed, completely sealed, so absolutely no energy in. Self activating anode cathode systems, and they're turning into the pink and red and black and white active states of the transmutation states of nano layers of hydrogen oxide and crystalline lattice layers of the different metals as I continue to prove, demonstrate, and engineer how I am making all the different legendary metamaterials and alchemical states that are bogus, and proving that they are actually electrochemical reactions, hydrogen reactions, hydrogen compounds, hydrogen isotopes, hydrogen ions, and the same with the metals themselves, whether they're in aerogel, whether they're in crystalline, and whether they're in monoatomic, plasmid. I'm creating them all, demonstrating, showing, and it'll be epic and awesome to actually present at Teslatech in front of all of the top academics actually working in these fields. So for once, I'll be in a room full of people who actually know what I'm talking about while simultaneously taking it serious because they understand it and the level and degree of material science that I have figured out and engineered. And what I'm showing here is this white, as a white state. So this is the white state of the alchemist that they call the calcification, and it is not calcium transmutation. It is this white decay, and it's a solid nano particle, right? So it's not monoatomic, it's nanosolid, and it's active off the breakdown of your sacrificial anode, nano or outer layering of whatever metal you have. And that is what then, if in a neutral based environment, will turn into and break off as from the solid pieces, the last little nano solid clusters of the metal, into the fluffy single white monoatomic pieces. So like the fluffy. And that when it's in this calcitic state, if it's around a base, like a alkaline or an charge, it becomes very, very acidic and reactive, and thus the calcification, they say. And so look at that. We just have a layer of the outer nano layering of that silver breaking off, and then you'll actually get to the real sparkly full bonds of metal, silver, underneath it. And it is this outer broken down solid nano, but turning into, right? And so this right here, see, I can't, that is very dangerous. The blue oxidized, immediately got to put that off because that cannot rub in like I did here. And you should never ever do what I'm doing right here unless you know what you're doing, which I do. And this is why the ancients painted themselves with the gold and silver. Well, it absorbs right into your skin. You're absorbing. Yeah. Anyways, don't try that at home, kids. You'll end up dead. I just have built up a what do you call it? Tolerance from years of exposure. On that note, we will see y'all later. Ta-ta.